One man's story became everyone's music that has lived on for decades. And now it's an award-winning show that's here on the Suncoast at the Van Wezel, Motown the Musical. And we are thrilled to introduce the star, Kenneth Mosley from the Motown touring cast. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Everyone is very excited that this show is playing the Suncoast at the Van Wezel. We're so happy. Now tell us a little bit. You play Motown founder Berry Gordy Jr.
Yes.
He started off, interesting background, he started off as a boxer.
Yes.
How did he become the music mogul?
Well, he was inspired as a kid, like even at 8 years old, by the boxer Joe Louis, who defeated Max Schmeling for the heavyweight championship of the world. And it really inspired him because it was the first time he had seen an African-American man have such a feat. And he wanted to have some sort of impact on his generation and his family and his culture, and he translated his love for boxing. He became a featherweight champion, but he moved into his passion for music and his gift for music and recognizing talent, and he developed and founded Motown. $800 he borrowed from his family's savings fund.
$800?
$800. He actually
That's a
asked,
good investment.
Yeah.
he asked for $1,000, and his oldest sister, who was in charge of the fund, capped it at $800 and said, "This is all you can have." And he took that and made it into something that really has changed the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And from $800 to launching the careers of some of the most amazing musical
Yes,
artists that we
absolutely.
have. Like, tell us about his involvement with Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Well, Diana Ross and the Supremes were in high school when he first met them, and he tried to tell them, you know, come back when you finish school, and they were like, we finished school at 2:30. We'll be back at the end of school today. And so they started doing background for different groups and recording in the studios, and they finally got a hit, and it was just hit after hit for them until Diana Ross became, as we know, a mega star. She just celebrated a birthday yesterday, and it just on and on. So many
And the
people.
show follows these careers that he
Yes.
launched, and everyone from the Jackson 5.
The Jackson 5, little Stevie Wonder was a kid. His mother was demanding, you know, a tutor and a chaperone. And then we have Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, Dancing in the Street. We know them for that song, and just so many careers.
And
Marvin
this is a
Gaye.
huge, obviously the music is a big part of the show.
Yes.
While you get to play Berry Gordy Jr., you actually got to meet him.
I did.
Tell us what it was like to meet the legend that you portray every night.
Well, I went through a series of auditions for this role, and right before the final audition, they said, "Okay, we're going to have you dance in the morning, and then just come back in the evening, and we'll be just fine." And then kind of over her shoulder, the casting director says, "Oh yeah, and Mr. Gordy will be here. Don't worry about it." And she just kind of scooted off there. And
by the way, he has to like you.
yeah. So, you know, the man that I'm auditioning to play was sitting there, and I did a lot of research for the role, and in his book, he talks about, his autobiography, he talks about how when he auditioned an act, he never gave them any indication at all as to whether he liked them or did not like them. And that's exactly what he did in the audition.
So he was totally...
He's got a poker face, man, and so he just sits there and he's listening intently and he's watching and he's studying as they give me different directions and different directives. And but I got the role, and I got to meet him, and he told me about his love for his family and the Motown legacy, as we call it.
And good for you for doing the research to know that not to get yourself psyched out because he's not giving you a smile.
I am so glad that I did all of that research because it helped to calm me. That preparation really helped to calm me and not worry about his facial reactions or lack thereof.
Well, the tour has been a big success all across the country.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what the show is like. So, you know, walk us through a little bit.
Well, first of all, for us, a show is not a show if the audience is not participating. So we can hear in the audience people singing along with so many hits from the Temptations and the Commodores and the Jackson 5. Diana Ross, we have a great moment where the audience sings Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand together, and she actually selects different audience members to sing solo with her. It is not a show unless we feel that energy from them. But the big thing that people walk away with is they get a chance to hear that backstory of how Motown was founded, how certain songs were written, things that people didn't know before about Motown.
A little bit of a history lesson as well as a great night of entertainment.
It's threaded all throughout, almost 80 or 90 songs.
That's crazy.
I have tickets on Sundays.
Oh, lucky girl.
Can't wait for you to see it.
So, and you've been on tour as a group for the better part of, since September, you said?
Yes. So we've been on tour since September. We've traveled into Canada. We're so glad to be in sunny Florida. We spent 3 weeks in cold Canada, but we're going into the summer.
Oh, well, we are excited that you all are here. Motown the Musical is at the Van Wezel through April 1st. There are still tickets, so go ahead, and they're going to go fast. You can go to vanwezel.org and get those seats while they're still hot. All right, coming up next, we're going to hear a little more from Veronica about a trip of a lifetime.